With the Switch 2 Direct a little over a week away, one of the biggest questions on a lot of people's minds is what will the console's main gameplay gimmicks be? Well, it turns out they may have been teased via the most unlikely place, the console's name. How's it going, guys? Mike here, and today we're going to talk about the Switch 2's main gameplay gimmicks, as well as the possibility of the console launching sooner than expected. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a video. Now, to start things off, we know very little about the Switch 2 aside from its looks, its launch window, and the fact that it's going to be backwards compatible with other games. However, the Switch 2's name could potentially tease its main gameplay gimmicks, and what do I mean by that? Well, let me explain. If you look at the names of past Nintendo consoles, they pretty much confirm the gameplay gimmicks. For example, the Nintendo 64's biggest gimmick was its 64-bit processor, which allowed it to do 3D rendered graphics. You also have the Nintendo DS, and if you look closely at DS, it stands for dual screen, or at least it can be interpreted that way. Then you have the Nintendo 3DS, which of course had the 3D mode, and the Switch was hybrid, which allowed you to switch it up between on-the-go and at-home gaming. This brings us to the Switch 2, which will have some very unique gimmicks, the first of which is interchangeable accessories via the dual USB-C ports on the top and bottom of the console. A while ago, Nintendo filed a patent for a dual-screen device, which could refer to either a dual-screen attachment or an adapter that allows you to use the Switch 1 as a second screen with the Switch 2, which doesn't really make sense because that will make the console a lot heavier, number one, and number two, Nintendo needs to go for some upscaling, which just a couple days ago they confirmed they were going to with this console because of a patent they filed for image upscaling, possibly referring to the Switch 2. Either way, a dual screen attachment would be awesome because it would allow them to port a lot of DS and 3DS games onto the console. Personally, I would not mind that because I'd love to play a remake of Kid Icarus Uprising or The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, all just to relive the days of 3DS nostalgia. It would also invite a lot of DS fans back to the console because I know a lot of people that are still playing Nintendo DS and 3DS games even in 2025. Another big possibility is that Nintendo plans to make a camera attachment to put on one of the USB-C ports, which makes sense because cameras do use USB-C inputs nowadays, but it's going to be kind of weird because to use the camera means you would have to take the dual screen attachment off. Plus, I just don't see people putting the camera module upside down just to use the dual screen display. Either way, I'm sure Nintendo is going to work it out, and I'm sure we're all going to be happy in the end. But another unique feature that the console will have is its mouse mode, which was teased during the initial reveal, and the Switch 2's name kind of alludes to. The reason I say that is because the mouse mode will most likely have more than one way to enjoy games. And to kind of simulate how it is, I have two Joy-Cons. These are the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons, in case you guys are wondering. And probably the way it'll go is you basically have one on its side and the other in your hand, just like a regular Joy-Con. This could be a new innovative way to play first-person shooters because you could use the sideways Joy-Con to control your camera while using the other to control your character's movements and the ability to shoot and attack. I also want to note that when using the mouse mode, it's a possibility that either side will work, which will really help with Nintendo's accessibility goals because it will accommodate people who are right-handed, left-handed, and ambidextrous. Plus, Metroid Prime 4 could potentially take huge advantage of this if it gets ported to Switch 2, but we still don't know for sure if it's going to be on Switch 2. If anything, it could release on Switch 1 and get a 60 FPS patch on Switch 2. Either way, I think it's a great idea for the Switch 2, especially because it doesn't have a lot of big first-person shooters, aside from lesser-known games like Neon White. This brings us to my theory on when the Switch 2 could launch, which would be June or July of this year at the absolute earliest, since Nintendo tends to reveal stuff and open pre-orders 2 months before it actually launches. However, I wouldn't rule out May, although a lot of people are very skeptical of that, and here's why. I mean, sure, it's just a theory right now that the console could launch in May, but one of the biggest indicators is that all the Switch 2's demo experiences are set for April of this year in 3 major cities being New York, Los Angeles, and Dallas. Kinda suspicious that there are no demo experiences in May. This all but confirms that the console could launch in May or early early June. But either way, I still think that May is a little too early, which is why I'm going with June or July as my final prediction. Who knows, we could be wrong and they could push it much further out, but I don't think Nintendo would survive to that point, because now that Xenoblade Chronicles X is launched, they have no games with actual slated release dates, only Windows. Either way, I'm really excited to find out what the Switch 2's main gameplay mechanics will be, as well as if there are some more surprises that Nintendo hasn't told us. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think the Switch 2's main gameplay mechanics will be? Do you think the console could launch earlier than expected? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, give a thumbs up, and tap the bell icon so you're up to date with all the latest gaming news and reviews. And I'll see you guys next week as we all witness history with the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Mic Check XP YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And be sure to leave your thoughts and insights in the comments section and invite a friend to check out these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next week. Take care.